Hello, it's Shiana here from Shiana Health. And are you a picky eater or is your child a picky eater? Well, this video is for you then because I'm going to give you a tip that's definitely going to help with the picky eater that you have in your household. So part of the nutrition program that I did and that I'm certified in gave a lot of tips on family health and how to get the family involved. And one of the tips that was suggested was when you go to the grocery store with your child, have them choose a vegetable, a new vegetable, or if you're having difficulties with them having fruit, have them choose a new fruit that they're going to try for the week. So we did this. We went to the fruit store and I had Trey with me and I said, Trey, choose a vegetable that you never had before and that you're willing to try this week. So he chose, I think it was like white zucchini or something. Granted, we have the green one all the time, so it wasn't really that different, but whatever. He chose it, right? So he chose the white zucchini. When we came home, I asked him how does he want me to make it? And he just said, make it like you make the other one. So I said, okay, cool. So I made it and he asked me, was it ready? And I was like, no, not ready yet. So then the next day he asked if it was ready and I said, yes. And he asked to have some. And then he said that he loved it. So one thing that I realized, he never asks before, like, oh, can I have such and such and such? Like he'll ask, what am I having to eat? But then that's it. Like it wouldn't be more questions like it was. And throughout the week, because we bought a few, so throughout the week, he asked a few other times, can he have the white zucchini? So I realized that by having him involved in number one, the choice, number two, like how it's being made, it made it that much more interesting for him to actually want to have it. So if that could be a little tip that you can use, if you have a picky eater, ask them, what fruit or vegetable are you willing to try this week that you've never had before? And then get them involved with how you actually make it. And then you're going to see if they're more interested in it. And guys, don't be surprised if you do this and your child does not like it. Like, do not be surprised if they're like, Mommy, I don't like this, or Daddy, I don't like this, whatever. What I want you to do is, at that point, I want you to put on your parenting hat. Like, this is where I'm going to go on a little rant because I hear a lot of people speaking about picky eaters. And at some point in time, we need to realize that if they're a picky eater, yes, there's some children that have sensitivities to, let's say, texture and all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to they just don't want to eat it because they're not used to it, this is where we cannot sway and we can't say, okay, you don't like it, I'll give you something else. We need to be the parent and we need to give them what it is that they need and not what it is that they want. It's not going to be easy. Yes, it's going to be difficult. Yes, you're going to be banging your head sometimes. Yes, they're going to end up eating the vegetable cold sometimes because they don't want to eat it. But at the end of the day, you're making these small little changes for them that's going to help them in the long run. For example, I had my goddaughter here a few weekends ago, and I gave her vegetables with her supper, just like I do with everybody else. Like everyone gets vegetables when they're having their supper. And she finished her supper and she didn't eat the vegetables. And then she asked for more supper. And at first I was going to give it to her because I didn't realize what she had left until I realized that she had all the vegetables left. And I was like, no, this is why you're still hungry. You didn't eat your vegetables. So I'm like, eat your vegetables. It took her forever to eat her vegetables, but she still ate them. And this is where it's not impossible to realize that children are not going to just venture towards vegetables if we don't give them that as an option. If you give it to them as an option, then try to make it in a way that they like. Try to figure out different ways that you can hide it in their food without them even noticing if it's like this much of a big deal. But what I'm boiling down to is we need to do our job as parents, as moms, to give them the right foods. If we give them the choice of all these other bad foods, they're not going to know what it's like to eat healthy. They're not going to know what it's like to cook healthy. And they're not going to get the nutrients that they need from the foods that we have. If you give them a choice between having broccoli or having French fries, obviously they're going to take the French fries, but then where are the nutrients that they're getting? And then they're going to grow up and they're not going to know what it is to eat healthy. And this is why childhood obesity is to the point where it is right now. So I really hope that you take this tip. And I'm going to give you guys so many other tips because to me, this is what gets me fired up. Whenever I see children, first of all, whenever I see children that are obese, I really feel sad because they're not in control. Like if you see an obese child, that's a parent that's doing that, or a guardian or whatever. It's not the child, because they're not the ones that decide what's going into their bodies. That's the parents. So for me, I feel like this is the part where I'm never going to stop talking about this, because I feel like we need to set them up on the right foot. All right. So that was my tip for you. Have your child choose a vegetable or fruit that they're going to try that they never tried before. And that was my little vent where I say it's going to be hard. It's going to take some work. You're going to want to like scream sometimes. They might even cry. Who knows? But at some point in time, we need to do the hard thing if in the long term it's going to be better for them. So I hope that this was helpful for you. If you know anybody that needs to hear this message, please share it along. If you know anyone that needs to hear that second part of the message, but you didn't want to tell them directly, share them the video. I don't care if they're upset with me. At the end of the day, this is all for the children. All right. So I hope you have a great day, and I will talk to you later. Bye.